The summer of 1999 and the first steps on the Highbury turf for Thierry Henry. He arrived with a big reputation, having won the World Cup with France the year before, but also with a huge task ahead of him after star striker Nicolas Anelka had left for Real Madrid.
Anelka goes through the centre, he's away from the defenders, 2-0!
So one young prodigious French talent replaced another, but Thierry was a very different player to his predecessor. He'd made his name at Monaco as a winger, where Arsene Wenger had given him his debut. He went on to win the league title in the south of France and proved himself a prolific goal scorer in the Champions League. However, his move to Juventus in 1998 turned to disappointment. And so the man who'd first spotted him in Monaco decided to bring him to Arsenal. Thierry's first appearance came as a second-half substitute against Leicester City on the opening day of the 1999-2000 season. There were chances to score, but none of them were taken, and it looked like Thierry might struggle to find his feet in English football.
Whenever you play football and you play for a team like Arsenal, and it happened after, whenever you don't score, it's a drama. Why, you don't know. Sometimes you're trying to do everything. I had opportunities. That was the most important thing, if I can say. The most important thing is to put it in the back of the net. But no, I wasn't really worried, you know. I think it was more a question of time than anything else.
I don't think many people would have thought that Thierry would have turned out the way that he did. I mean, into an absolute superstar now.
And his confidence was a little bit low. You could detect that straight away. But if Wenger was backing him, you know, we felt certainly, you know, he must be a very good player.
Everybody made me feel welcome, but then after, once it's done, you know, you have to show them that you can deliver. And at the very beginning, I wasn't doing that, and you know, the guys were letting me know that what was needed to do, you know, to play for Arsenal Football Club. You know, I won't go into details, but I'm sure you can imagine with the likes of Tony and Martin and Lee and Nigel, what it was like in training sometime.
I saw as my responsibility as being club captain to actually let people know, whether it was Thierry Henry or anyone really at the club, what was required, what were the requirements at this great football club. You know, Dave Rocastle, God rest his soul, always used to say, remember who you are, what you are and who you represent. But tried to instill, yeah, absolutely, what it was and what was required from Thierry on a daily basis to be a winner and to be a successful guy.
It was just packaging it all together and bringing out the best of him, and putting him as a central striker was really the key to that.
We worked on him on some specific runs and finishing, and he got the appetite again, and then he became calmer in front of goal, and because he was intelligent, he understood quickly what was important, and he became a tremendous goal scorer.
When he first came, he couldn't understand half the London boys, because we used to, you know, be a bit too quick the way we spoke. But he learnt the slang in the end, the London slang, and he really enjoyed it.
Change in him was absolutely immense. To say at the time that you knew he was going to be a world-class star, I think it'd probably be a bit of a lie. But the way he developed his game, I played centre forward for Arsenal. I think initially he was a winger, but never played traditional centre forward. Almost in his early days used to drift out as well onto the left-hand side.
Great footballer, had strength, pace, and lots of skill. You know, for me, the goal that stands out is Tottenham at Highbury when he picked the ball up in his own half and run through the whole team. It's a little bit like people, what they do in their computers when they're playing. I see my little boy playing his computer, and that happens sometimes, but this is in real life. And what a fantastic player.
When Thierry started developing his game, not only did he put goals into it, but the pace that he ran at players was absolutely electrifying, and really scared the life out of people, which created space for other people. So if he wasn't scoring, then other people were, but he seemed to score a fair few goals as well.
You know, I just love the club. All the stuff that I did here, and you know, that bond I had with the fans, as I was saying earlier on, was just tremendous, and it's still there.
In the end, it took 8 games for him to get off the mark, but then any seeds of doubt were spectacularly blown away. His first goal came down at the Dell just 8 minutes after coming off the bench against Southampton.
Tony Adams. Henry. Again, Almeida couldn't stay with him, and Henry has scored a terrific goal. His first as an Arsenal player, and one that he and the Arsenal supporters present will remember for an awful long time to come.
But it was a relief because, you know, I think everybody was expecting the goal. And also on the other side, it was the goal who won the game. You know, I think it's always important when you can score a goal, or it's important in the game.
On the way back from scoring that goal, I think I said to him, you know, I can tell my kids that I was there when Henry scored his first goal, because I could see that there was a fantastic ability there. It was just a matter of time before it all came together for him. And as it proved, he was an outstanding player for Arsenal.
I met him in Monaco when he was 17.5 years old, because I saw him play with the youth team and I thought, this guy creates chances. And after the coincidence of a young player, you know, they pushed him wide, they kept him wide, he became a winger, lost the appetite for scoring goals. And when he failed, he convinced himself that he cannot score goals, because that's what everybody reproached him. And I thought, let's have a go and let's start through the centre again, like when you were a boy.
I came as a winger, yeah, and the boss told me straight away, you're going to play in the middle. And I looked at him and I went, you know, no, not being, you know, cocky or anything, but I said to him, I'm international as a winger, just won the World Cup as a winger, people knows me around the world as a winger, I'm established as a winger, and you want me to play in the middle. He said, yeah, trust me.
As soon as a player signs, you go into trial mode with the players that you sign with. Everybody looks at you first day and goes, yeah, he can play, or no, he can't. He didn't look a striker to me. That was the first thing I thought. He doesn't look like a striker, and he wasn't. He was rubbish, wasn't he?
Ince losing out, then Henry hits it. That is a fantastic goal. This man has really found form. Kanu, Henry, could be another goal for him here. It is. Taken with great aplomb.
I think his intelligence and the way he settled in London life, I think he enjoyed himself, which showed on the pitch. And he got to know the history of the football club, and, you know, the language he mastered. He speaks better English than me. An intelligent man.
He always used to come and play against me in training, and I used to tell him to go on Nigel's side because I've had enough of him and I'm going to kick him, and then Nigel had threatened to kick him on that side, so he tended to sort of jostle with the pair of us for a bit of a laugh, but that was his strength, as well as his goals that he scored, his ability to change his pace so quickly.
If you let him turn and run at you, you know it's going to be an absolute nightmare. So his movement and the way that he received balls and the position he moved into made it very, very difficult for him to be marked, and I'm pretty pleased he didn't come out my side too often.
Henry starts a chase, Bold with him. Maybe the Frenchman with just a little sharper turn of pace. Henry! Oh! What a strike by Henry!
Thankfully, I only played against him twice, but I saw enough of him. You know, and number one is the physical aspect that he brought to. He was lightning quick, powerful, and of course, you know, the finishing was second to none.
DIXON. Henry skips around Bold. Henry! It's sheer quality. It's world class. And Steve Bold isn't enjoying his return to Highbury.
When you're playing for Sunderland, then like Steve was, against Thierry, he didn't get much of a breather that day, and I remember looking at him about halfway through the second half, and he looked 85 if he looked a day.
Well, I have to tell you that although I was the excuse, I was 36 years of age, I think, at the time, but it did tell me that I ought to be thinking about hanging my boots up.
Steve Bold wasn't the only player to be outpaced and outgunned by Henry in his first season in English football. The 1999-2000 campaign brought him 26 goals in all competitions, more than half of them scored on his own ground. Highbury undoubtedly had a new hero, and for Thierry, he'd found his spiritual home. His first strikes at Highbury came against Derby County on the 28th of November 1999. It began a love affair that lasted 7 years as he went on to become the most prolific goal scorer in the stadium's 93-year history.
Henry! It's his second!
I don't have any words to describe Highbury. It's ridiculous. You know, as you know, I scored a lot of goals there, and for me it was like my garden. You know, I just whenever we had to meet over there, and I had to walk on the side of the pitch to go in the dressing room, it was just amazing. Every morning when we had a meeting there, I always wanted to make sure that I was walking there, because that feeling of the empty stadium, that maybe in 3-4 hours it's going to be full. And hopefully that the fans will enjoy what we're doing.
And here's Henry. Desai gets across in front of him. Still Henry. Keeps on his feet. Henry, yes!
Oh, Hetherington overdid that. Now here's a situation that Thierry Henry could exploit against Chris Berry. It's the classic 1 against 1, and Henry's beaten him, and Henry has scored! 2-0 to Arsenal.
I think it was the history of the place that he took on board. It was the marble halls, it was there was something sort of French in it in a way. There are some great palaces in France that appealed to him, but I think it was more the history of it. But he had an absolute deep-rooted love of the ground, and of course the fans there, because sheer ability on his part. He won the fans to the point where they could turn around to any other football club in the country and say, well, we've got a player as good as you. You can talk of Rooney, you can talk of Ronaldo, but we've got Thierry Henry.
I would have loved for him to play in front of the North Bank when he was terracing, because that was a special end, and it was great to score a goal at that end. And I think he would have even loved it even more if there'd have been terracing there and they'd have all come falling down the terracing and swaying. It's a great feeling to be down that end, and it's a special place. But he knew that. He felt there was something special there with the fans.
It's another extraordinary goal from Thierry Henry, who's been a scourge of Manchester United and of many other clubs. Swerved, confused goalkeeper. 1-0 Arsenal.
It's a lovely ball to Henry, inch perfect, Thierry Henry goes for it. Oh, what a goal! That is sublime! He keeps scoring them. A majestic goal. That is one of the finest goals you'll see all season.
That season was the last at Highbury, and when the curtain finally came down on the much-loved old ground, Thierry marked the occasion in the most appropriate fashion. A win against Wigan was needed to keep in with a chance of securing 4th spot in the table and a place in the Champions League qualifiers. Plus, closest rival Spurs had to slip up, which added huge drama and tension to a day of high emotion. Fittingly, Thierry produced a real captain's performance.
Campbell heads it down. Perez! Arsenal score inside 8 minutes. Thompson takes, and it's a goal here by Shana. He's gone for goal, he's done it! And it's Arsenal 1, Wigan 2. It's Henry, he's in, it's 2-2. And as it stands, it will be Spurs finishing fourth. And it's what Wigan do here. Henry skipped round Pollett's. Thierry Henry puts Arsenal 3-2 in front. It's a gift, but one gratefully taken. That's Campbell. Henry, Ljungberg, penalty. Whatever Thierry Henry achieves, his name will be forever associated with Highbury. And on the last day here, he has a hat-trick.
It was a pretty weird day, really weird, even though it was a great one because Tottenham lost at West Ham and we reached the fourth spot. And I mean, it would have been better to win the league on the last year at Highbury, but you know, if you ask any Arsenal fan what could match winning the league, overtaking Tottenham, I think can match that.
A great picture of you kissing the turf. Was that something you planned?
No, I didn't plan it. I didn't plan it, but I think it was just a feeling at the time. Just a goodbye, really. You know, I had a lot of great memories there, great goals, ugly goals, everything, you know, the fans, that togetherness that we had in the stadium there, you know, the pressure that we used to put on teams there was just amazing.
Henry's contribution to the game is enormous, as if he does write his own scripts. But then it just went through and it ended with he and Ashley Cole poignantly sitting on this podium in the middle of this wonderful old stadium. And in Thierry's case, somebody who'd come from abroad to, you know, into this culture, but had really taken it into his system and knew as much as any, you know, 70-year-old Arsenal fan who was probably weeping at the demise of the ground, what it meant, what the day meant.
One thing that will never disappear, because I do think somebody one day will come and erase my name from the top of the list, but I will always stay as the guy who scored the most goals at Highbury, whatever happens. So that will be a record that can never be broken. And for me it's special because I had the special feeling with the fans there and with the stadium. So that's something that I can be proud to shout about.
The biggest cheer of the day will be for Baba-Boom.
In 2003-04, Arsenal went through an entire league campaign unbeaten, an incredible achievement in the modern game. The team played with style and flair, but there was also a steely determination throughout the side. Everyone contributed to the cause, and Thierry added the X factor, the special ingredient that could turn a defeat into a draw and a draw into a win.
Vieira. Can Ljungberg take it on? First touch just widened it a little bit. Oh, it's pushed out, and it must be a goal for Henry. Arsenal, what have they taken? Less than 5 minutes. Laura. There's a miscue, and it's led to a goal by Henry. It was a Bramble's mistake this time, and there's no reprieve. Henry scores at Highbury again.
I just think the way we were playing at that time was the key. Because we had the ball most of the time and it was just like a 1-2-3 passing game, and we were already in the box of the opposite side and scoring like in a flash. It was just crazy, to be honest. The togetherness, the commitment we had together, and the confidence was just abnormal.
You know, everybody was kind of, you know, tuned in and willing to win and at the top of the game, and you know, we all were kind of chipping in together, and you know, all those qualities kind of came together and made a fantastic team, and you know, Thierry was definitely a part of that.
He wanted to win, you know. Thierry is a winner, you know. At that moment he was playing, you know, on his best, scoring goals, defending, helping the team. You know, was the leader. So with play like that, it's easy to win trophies, yeah.
You know who? It's brilliant! Once more, Thierry Henry reaches out for perfection.
You knew if they had the quiet 20 minutes that maybe that switch would be flicked, and then Henry, goal, game over.
It's Thierry Henry who glides through and gets the goal that marks his 100th in the Premiership for Arsenal.
In a season of many highlights, perhaps the most impressive was Thierry's display in the Good Friday showdown with Liverpool, when the Merseysiders twice took the lead and threatened to end Arsenal's unbeaten run.
And turned in by Hopia. 5 minutes in, just what Arsenal could do without.
I think at that period he was playing with a real hunger and a passion, and that gives you that extra yard. And you know, if we went behind in games, you could almost see that he was taking it personally and dragging the team, you know, through and getting the goals we needed. So that sort of period, you know, he was really coming into his own, and a very important player for us.
Roberto for Henry, running at Harman and away from him, and running at Carragher and away from him. Still, Thierry Henry, fantastic goal! Absolutely brilliant from Henry. Dennis Bergkamp, lifted over the top of Thierry Henry on a hat-trick. Lucky Break has his hat-trick. And all the traumas of the week are left behind. Gilberto. Henry, there's no flag. He's in on goal. He finds the goal. Lee's look, but the assistant, Gallagher, checks as well. But it is 2-0 to Arsenal.
Perhaps if you wanted to look back on just one little cameo of what Henry brought to Arsenal, that would be the best evening to do it. And he was unplayable. You know, there was no way that Leeds could have had another 11 out there and he'd still found a way through it.
But Henry's definitely onside. He's in for number 3. Another Henry hat-trick. He blows teams away. Arsenal take your breath away. Plenty of green grass behind them for Arsenal to use, to run the ball into, like this, like this. Electrifying, electrifying. It's 4 for the foremost striker.
In that season, he hit 39 goals and picked up both the PFA and Football Writers' Player of the Year awards for a second consecutive season. He was a special talent harnessed to a team who rewrote the record books.
He was runner-up in both the European and World Footballer of the Year polls that season. Runner-up to 2 different players, Zidane and Nedved. Zidane, OK. Nedved, superb player. Better than Thierry Henry at the peak of his powers, as he was then. Double Footballer of the Year, second season running in England. I don't think so. I think he was just about as good as anybody on the planet right then.
I think that in that year, in the unbeaten season, it was just everything about him, the whole stature of him. And people can look, some people could look and said, oh, you know, there was an arrogance about him. There was an arrogance about Pelé. There was an arrogance about Cruyff. There was certainly an arrogance about Maradona. And the arrogance was really channeled into his understanding of the qualities that he had and his ability to take on opposition and to turn games. Games that were probably uninteresting, and even when Thierry was not playing well, you expected when it was 0-0 and Arsenal were up against it, one player would bail you out, and that would be Thierry and his ability to just turn a game on its head.
The title was clinched at White Hart Lane after a 2-2 draw with Spurs and celebrated in real style before the team went on to finish the season without losing a match. The next target was to surpass Nottingham Forest's 42-game unbeaten run in the league, and it was Thierry's goal against Blackburn at the start of the 2004-05 season that set them on the way to victory in the record-breaking game. The final tally eventually reached 49 consecutive games unbeaten.
Isn't that just Henry? Isn't that just Arsenal? Isn't that just typical?
You can only qualify a great team by winning stuff. Fortunately for us, when we did that, we won the league. So you have something with it, not only playing good football. You have something with it. You know, the goals that we were scoring were amazing. But I just would like to talk about the team effort and talking about the unbeaten run. Because to do it in a modern game, it's very difficult. To, you know, not lose a game for 49 games, and obviously having one unbeaten season. And, you know, maybe another team will do it in a modern game, or I don't know, but hey, to do it, it's a hell of a task.
The following season, he captained the side on an incredible run to the Champions League final.
That's a lovely ball. There's a chance here for Fabregas, and now for Thierry Henry. Arsenal 2, Juventus 0.
One thing was important also is we were known as a team who were playing good football, fancy stuff, and going forward pretty quick. But we didn't concede a goal for a very long time in this campaign, which is, I think, Gens has the record of, and the team also, of not conceding goals in successive games in the Champions League. So that was a way of saying that sometimes you can also defend by going forward. We managed to do the both. Unfortunately for us, wasn't enough in the final.
Oh, he slipped it through, no flag. Samuel Eto'o brought down by Lehmann. Julie will tuck it away. Barcelona lead now. The referee's pulled it back. What's he going to give?
I do think if we had stayed 11 against 11, it would have been another game, even 1-0 down. I do think it would have been another game, because we were at 10 playing more than well, I would like to say, against a team who was well known as the team at the time.
Henry, towards Campbell! Sol Campbell for Arsenal, against all the odds! Cleve is on the ball, it's Thierry Henry! Oh, stopped by Valdez!
At one point, I think I had an opportunity in the second half that I had nothing left in my legs. When we hit the hour, it was a bit too much to hold against Barcelona, 10 against 11.
Out as far as Belletti. Larson, good control. Tucked into Belletti. Oh, it's in! Nothing Almunia could do.
After a game like this that you've been waiting for so long to reach the final, it's harsh, but you know, you have to swallow it.
Has anyone had a bigger influence on Thierry's career than Arsene Wenger? Well, Arsenal's most successful ever manager seemed to bring the best out of this exceptionally talented player. Truly, it was a special relationship.
I made my debut for Monaco with him. I was 17, I just turned 17. 2 weeks after my birthday, he made me start the game. And a lot of players were playing for the reserve, like players who were 21, 22, who have been waiting for so long to have a chance to play. Why you took me? To ask him that, I don't know, but that I will always be thankful, because maybe if he had chosen somebody else, why he took me, I really don't. I really don't. And why he put me back in the center after also when I arrived at Arsenal, he can see things that nobody can.
Biggest talent ever maybe in football. Had everything you dream to have when you're a football player. highly intelligent, analyzes very quickly. Time of analysis of the game around him was very quick. Great pace, great power, great jump. He used only 50% of his jumping power to score goals, because he could have been a tremendous header of the ball. He didn't fancy it too much, but he had aspects in his game that he didn't explore completely, you know, and still managed to be the best goal scorer ever. In the modern game, what he did is just amazing.
He said so many times, you know, people wants to change a player, you know, try to make you do stuff that you can't do. And he said to me, I don't want you to do that. I want you to carry on doing what you do best, you know. If, you know, maybe you're not good with your head or whatever, you know, okay, work at it, okay, but, you know, carry on doing what you can do, running at people and trying to score goals, you know. Just be you, don't try to be someone else. He said to me, don't ask yourself the wrong question, ask yourself the right question. Because sometimes in the game you can always blame others, but he was always telling me to make sure that, for example, if a guy doesn't, you know, you think the guy didn't give you the ball in the right way or whatever, he was always telling me that maybe that I didn't move the right way, you know, try to, in a negative, to stay positive. Not always easy, trust me, but you know, if you take it in consideration, it can help.
He was nice with other people, loved to a discussion, you know, was ready to speak always. No, he was a nice guy. I just think it's the status that creates the responsibilities, and the responsibilities creates a doubt sometimes. Am I up to it today? Did I do well? Will I respond? With Dennis Bergkamp, it was exactly the same. These guys had a special responsibility, and this special responsibility, of course, creates a lot of pressure on your shoulders.
One of the things with Arsene also is a great human being. He's a great boss too. But on the other side, he's a great human being, and you need that to deal with a team. You need that to deal with a team, and he always gets the best out of his players. It's just unbelievable.
He's a great visionary. Is there anything he ever said to you that you thought kind of took you to the next level? How did he motivate you personally?
Well, the boss, whenever you go to the office of the boss, you go to tell him something because you may be a bit down about something, or to talk about the game or whatever in your life. And you leave his office, you're laughing, and you actually forgot to tell him what you wanted to tell him. The game against Liverpool, when we were 2-1 down at home, and we won the game 4-2. I never felt Highbury like that before. When I scored the goal to make it 3-2, I felt that goal was, you know, just a big relief for everyone.
One of my favorites, because it was a big relief, was Thierry Henry's goal against Liverpool when we were down after having been knocked out by Chelsea in the unbeaten year, and that sealed the title, that goal.
You know, he's an artist with the ball, you know, and he's got, you know, great balance and great skill and pace to go with it, and he can go either side, and you know, he just uses your body. You know, he's thinking, you know, it's like a chess player. He's thinking like 4, 5, 6 moves ahead. So that's the quality of Thierry, really.
And it's Thierry Henry, and Henry is magnificent! It's absolutely magnificent! And when you need a goal, you need Thierry Henry!
I don't know how he did it, but he just fought for a ball, and you know, it was a great finish.
If you ask defenders, it's the worst thing they can deal with, really. And plus Thierry, because he's, you know, powerful as well, he's got that strength and he's got the height, helps so much as well. You know, he just knocks past players and just makes it look easy, and it's like he's running on, you know, nothing really.
It's not going to bother Arsene because they've got Thierry Henry on the ball, and Zanetti trying to catch up Henry steps inside, Pires is there. Henry will have to do it alone. Ah! Sensational goal from Thierry Henry to secure a sensational result for Arsenal.
There are hardly any footballers in the history of the game who have the capability of picking up the ball in their defensive third, going from the defensive third into the middle third, into the attacking third, and scoring at the other end. I don't even think Pelé was able to do that. Physically, an amazing looking animal, his build, his speed. I think he could have been an Olympic athlete had he not been a footballer born with the touch and footballing brain that he had.
That's not just any defender that's chasing him, you know, that's Javier Zanetti, one of the greatest fullbacks ever to play the game. And Zanetti actually does his job. He catches up with Thierry Henry, forces him to check, forces him onto his left foot. Job done for the defender. Oh, no, it's not.
I think we were the first English team to beat Real Madrid at Bernabeu. Sometimes in this kind of games you need big players to come in and make something important for the team, and he was the one to do it.
It's Thierry Henry! He scored! He scored for Arsenal in the Bernabeu!
Sometimes I see it, you know, on TV, and yes, it is a great goal, but I scored sometimes more difficult goal than this one, but you know, because maybe the opposition was in Real Madrid and the place was in Santiago Bernabeu, so nobody talked about it. But sometimes, you know, you need to score the goal at the right place.
You can't catch him. You can't catch him. When he's gone, he's gone.
Henry, what a goal! Inspiration for Arsenal from Thierry Henry.
Whenever I see that goal, I'm always like, did I do that?
Basically, the problem that he gives commentators is that how can he score when he gets the ball there? Just the sheer guts to try, because some players are frightened to attempt the really difficult in case they miss, but others have the audacity to go for the seemingly impossible and achieve it. And poor Fabian Barthez.
It was one of those moments where I think everybody just went, wow, how did he do that? And there were a few of those.
I'm all about instinct. I felt like doing this, and he went in.
He's on his own on this side, Henry, against Carragher. Oh, he's beaten Carragher. Thierry Henry for Arsenal. He's got made room for the shot. It's 3-1. Oh, what can you say about Thierry Henry? Spin by Henry away from Daly. Terrific shot. Wonderful goal. Arsenal back in business. And they can do that in the blink of an eye.
It's very, very hard to mark him, particularly if you're a centre-half. That's why I'm glad that I was a left-back and didn't come up against him too much.
The little flick is almost like a Sampras or a Roddick tossing the ball up before delivering a fantastic ace. It's just it's an impudent little dink before the explosion that comes. Thierry Henry is a scorer of flamboyant goals, a great goal scorer, but a scorer of great goals.
Oh, good running by Reyes. Henry in the near post position here. How did he get that in?
Well, I don't know if it's magic or not magic. When the ball arrived at the very beginning, I just wanted to make sure, just chilled it. But then fortune was all over me and I couldn't really move from him. Then I just looked at the ball and I saw a space between his legs. And I said, let's see if it's gonna work. And the ball went in and it worked.
You're often surprised when he doesn't score. Everybody knows what he's going to do. And the defenders have been primed to try and deal with it, but knowing actually the reality of trying to stop him, hugely different.
An astounding goal from Thierry Henry.
He'd sort of hypnotise the opposition, and people think, well, he's having one of his off days. and then bang, he would just explode with something and score an absolutely amazing goal.
He'd just pull you everywhere. You know, you'd be standing on the right back spot, you know, and you'd be unaffected, because if you're going to stand with him, he'll go and explode into the middle and you're lost.
I think the goal against Spurs really sums up Thierry. Not only was it an extraordinary goal in itself, the fact that it was against the great rivals just made it so different.
Will do well to catch up with Thierry Henry though. He's drifted away from Carr. Henry! What a fabulous solo goal by Thierry Henry.
It was a special goal against Tottenham, which is when you play against Tottenham, you know that it's more than important. I will never lose against Tottenham. I'm so happy to say that. So great.
He was at Arsenal long enough to realise what beating Spurs meant to Arsenal fans. I mean, he's unmistakably French in everything that he does, but he actually became the talismanic figure and actually captured the whole Arsenal spirit during the time that he was at the club. And so to score probably his best ever goal at Highbury against Tottenham in a big win, that probably is just about as good as it gets for any Arsenal player.
To be honest, I don't know why I ran so much after the goal. I was dead for nearly 2 days after that.
Thierry's last strike for Arsenal came at Middlesbrough in February 2007. The Riverside proved to be his most prolific away ground, this being his 6th goal there for the Gunners.
Thierry Henry has scored again!
His final appearance in an Arsenal shirt came a month later in a Champions League tie with PSV. He came close to scoring on the night but couldn't stop his team slipping out of the competition. He picked up an injury that ruled him out for the rest of the season, and 3 months later he moved to Barcelona.
Nobody knew if Arsene was going to sign again. I found myself in a situation where those were my last maybe 3-4 years in Europe, competing in Europe, and I was kind of thinking, if Arsene leaves, what's next? And I had a discussion with him, and he kind of, you know, like he was saying, wasn't too clear about if he was going to stay or not, so I decided to leave. But it was a very sad day. Well, guys, I just wanted to tell you that you've been tremendous with me, and I really do appreciate it. I know you can't see it, but I'm shaking right now, and it is a special day for me. I'll always remember you guys and have you in my head and in my heart. And I wanted to reassure you again that I always give 100% here. Even some people try to say some of the stuff at times, but I gave 100%, and I hope you did appreciate what I've done here, because I did appreciate what you've done to me and helped me growing as a man and being a better football player. So I will always take that with me, no matter what happened. Arsenal will always be in my blood and in my heart, and I will always remember you guys. And I said I was going to be a Gunner for life, and I didn't lie, because once you're a Gunner, you'll always be a Gunner. So that club is in my heart and will remain in my heart forever. Thank you. The very first thing that I wanted to do was to do a message for the fans. I think at that particular moment I did need to explain to them and speak to them, because they did matter for me, and they will always do matter for me. So you have a way of living a club, and I thought that was the right way. Always great stuff. They've always been nice with me, especially when I first arrived and I couldn't find the back of the net. Just pure understanding and love with each other. And when you have love, sometimes you have argument and you have not great moments, but the love was always there. The only thing I would like is just to be remembered. However people wants to remember me, I just would like to be remembered. That's the only thing that was important. I always said that I wanted to make history since I started to play football. And to make history, you have to leave like a trace, a proof where you've been, and I've done that with the record. I've done it also with my team, but I just would like to be remembered. People only remembered people who won and did something for the club.
Wiltor, Henry, is this the 100? You bet.
That's quality. Absolute top draw quality.
Remember when they signed him, they said he wasn't really a striker. 100 goals in 181 games.
I think he'll be remembered as one of the greatest. I think, you know, I'm plucking him out as possibly the greatest individual, in so much that he could pick a ball up and run the length of the field and score.
Played the game how it should be played, you know, and he definitely one of the guys who revolutionised Arsenal, attacking wise anyway.
Henry at the far! Sensational goal from Thierry Henry!
He's got Arsenal in his blood, and he has shown that all the way, you know, when he's been playing for the club. He's been fighting, he's been trying to win, you know, what can you say? He's a winner, he always loved to win for him, for the teammate, for the club. All you can say is thanks to him for all he's done as an Arsenal fan.
And Henry has taken it down and scored a blander!
Thierry Henry is the leading goal scorer in Arsenal's history. Think of the forwards who played for Arsenal. He is the leading goal scorer in Arsenal's history. I think that automatically makes him one of the best 5 players who've ever played for the club. He may well be the best.
Got a shirt signed from him, and he said, "All the best, Theo. Only 224 goals to go or something." But that was nice. Really, I got that framed in my room. But yeah, his record is just, you know, it's fantastic.
It's Thierry Henry's 200th goal for Arsenal, and it's an absolute beauty from the master.
He's a product of the television age, so the legacy is there forever, every goal. And Thierry Henry, my grandchildren, hopefully my great-grandchildren, are going to have to hear about him, because super, absolutely super. Top guy, top player.
He was also an ambassador for the club as well. I think people recognise that he loved the club, but I genuinely think that it was a huge wrench for him to leave. The circumstances were right for everybody, but I think deep down he's a gooner.
In the position he was, there was no better player in his time. They love the goal scorers, and they love the people that can put the ball in the back of the net and entertain. It's entertainment. Entertainment industry, and Thierry was an entertainer. He was class, he moved like poetry.
Oh, it was weird. It was a weird feeling. I didn't like it at all. It would have been even more difficult if I had to play against Arsenal at Highbury. I think that would have been very hard for me. You know, you usually go on the field thinking, I want to kill that team. I wanted to win, but I didn't want to kill that team. It was really kind of weird, I have to say. I didn't know at the end, for example, when the fans were singing my name, I was like, okay, shall I leave now? Shall I clap again, or shall I stay? I mean, you know, we're competing against each other, you know, that was kind of weird. I'll go back to when I received a phone call. Someone said to me that they're going to put a statue in front of the stadium, and I nearly put the phone down. I remember saying, if you don't have anything to do, you know, this type of jokes, sorry, are not funny. So until the day that I came to do the unveiling of the statue, I was still thinking that it was a joke.
This Arsenal legend was simply a modern-day hero to Arsenal supporters at the turn of the 21st century. His world-class performances and massive contribution to his 8-year career at Arsenal set the Premier League and the world football alight. Therefore, it gives me great pleasure to unveil a commemorative statue to Thierry Henry.
I never thought in my wildest dream that I would have been like this one day in front of the stadium of the team that I love and that I support. And also a special thank to my friends, close friends. What made it for me, to be honest, you know, and you got to take it. Sometime in the game, you got to have some personal moments. I'm not saying it's being selfish, but in a way, you know, and that's why I started to cry, because my family was there. But when I saw my family, my daughter, my mom, I was like, it is really happening, and I couldn't hold it. You know, I think sometimes it's nice to show emotions. I wasn't too much of a guy that was showing emotion, but sometimes it's kind of difficult to hold it. But as I said, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank Arsenal Football Club to give me this opportunity to be right here in front of the stadium. And as I said, and I will always say, once a Gunner, always a Gunner. So, you guys.
Of course, they haven't threatened really much themselves, Leeds, but that was to be expected.
Song. Henry, chance, goal! He may be cast in bronze, but he's still capable of producing truly golden moments.
Well, you've got to say it just had to be in the script the way the game was going for Arsenal fans, and they're delirious, as you would expect, and applause from Beckham as well. He just pulls off here. Nice little run in between behind the youngster Thompson, who's had a great game, but he just goes to sleep. That's inexperience. Super run, great ball, lovely first touch, and then composure. Slides it in. You don't have to batter it, you don't have to smash it, you just have to place it. And over the years, he's probably done that 1,000 times, and he's rolled back a few years here tonight.
And we have just seen one of the moments of this and indeed many other seasons' FA Cups. One that will truly live long in the memory.
Well, the advanced player here, other than Henry, for Arsenal is Fabregas. And here he is. Back again to Thierry Henry! What a goal! The master does it again! That is magnificent!
Will you ever come back to Arsenal one day?
You always go back where you belong. So hopefully one day that can happen. How, I don't know, but you always go back where you belong. You can go all over the world, but the love that I had in that place and the understanding with the fans and everybody else at the stadium or whoever was working for Arsenal, always go back there. That's for sure. And I've seen it with everybody else. All the, the players who, it's difficult to leave Arsenal. Whenever you leave Arsenal, you don't really leave Arsenal.